Does anyone else get excited when they recognize a painting in a music video, or is it just me, an art history nerd? When I watched BTS's Blood, Sweat and Tears music video, I noticed a familiar image in the background of one of the shots. I rewound the video and paused to get a closer look. Sure enough, there was Bruegel's Landscape with the Fall of Icarus. This is one of the most fascinating paintings I've ever learned about, so I knew I had to write an article about this reference. BTS's Blood, Sweat and Tears music video features numerous art references, including Peter Bruegel the Elder's Landscape with the Fall of Icarus. We see the painting behind V in a scene when he grins at the camera before jumping from a balcony. Upon first glance, Bruegel's landscape is not obviously about Icarus, the mythical boy who flew too close to the sun and paid for his imprudence with his life. This is exactly what makes the painting so fascinating. If you look closely at the bottom right-hand corner of Bruegel's painting, you'll see Icarus's legs sticking out of the ocean and a few flyaway feathers. Icarus's presence is so objectively insignificant in the scope of the painting, a fact highlighted by the title, which tacks on his presence as if it's secondary to the rest of the painting. So again, the title is Landscape with the Fall of Icarus. The painting itself places little importance on Icarus too. The plowman and the shepherd in the foreground of the painting are oblivious to the boy falling into the sea. The almost comical disregard for Icarus's plight in this painting naturally garners a lot of interest and interpretation. One could interpret Bruegel's message in this work as life goes on. Yes, Icarus's death is a tragedy, but it doesn't cause the plowman to stop plowing or the shepherd to look up from his sheep. Now back to BTS. There's a parallel drawn here between V and Icarus in the shot with Bruegel's painting. Sitting on the balustrade of a balcony, V turns around, gives us a cheeky grin, and jumps. The grin and the jump, paired with the backdrop of Bruegel's landscape, elicit an association with Icarus, a boy infamous for his arrogance, recklessness, and his fatal fall into the sea. Another, less subtle allusion later in the music video cements the association between V and Icarus. V is shown with wounds on his back where wings might grow if humans had them. He looks like a fallen angel, or a fallen Icarus. What does this reference mean? The most apparent significance is its nod to the name of the album in which Blood, Sweat and Tears was released, Wings. We can guess at deeper meanings by examining the meaning of the song. Blood, Sweat and Tears is about knowing a relationship isn't good for you but wanting it anyways. We can see this in Suga's verse, which is translated here. Kiss me on the lips, a secret just between the two of us. Deeply poisoned by the jail of you, I cannot worship anyone but you, and I knew the grail was poison, but I drank it anyway. These lines speak about being intoxicated by someone, of being trapped in your love for them, and not being able to resist even when you know a relationship will hurt you. We can see some of Icarus here. He knows that flying too close to the sun is dangerous, yet he does it anyway. In other words, he knows the grail is poison, but he drinks from it anyway. This inability to restrain oneself and reckless behavior is reflected in Blood, Sweat and Tears. In conclusion, I love when artists and directors allude to other works in their art. Not only is it fun to catch these references, but it also creates conversation, both between the artist referencing and the artist referenced, and those who enjoy the art. In a way, referencing keeps art alive and fluid, preserving older works by reminding us about them, and using their meanings to spin new ones. Stay tuned for parts 2 and 3 of this series, in which I discuss Millet's Ophelia in Taylor Swift's The Fate of Ophelia music video, and Delacroix's Liberty Leading the People in Coldplay's Viva la Vida music video. If you think someone you know would enjoy this article, please pass it along. Thank you for listening to Serotonin.